This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
What is up, everybody? Smoking Jay here, SGN Hub, with a little bit of This is the Way for Maximum Football. Got my buddy here, Quasi91, and we're going to discuss a couple features just in this upcoming game with the developer of Invictus Games. The publisher is going to be Modus Games. It's going to be on the Unreal 5 and 5.1 engine. It's going to be on these platforms, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. It's also going to be on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. Right now, it is currently expected to be released in the spring on the Mac and Windows operating system, and in the fall for consoles. So, first thing that we should probably dive into in this video, I would say we should look at far as player movement, and I'll go ahead and let you open the floor to you on this one, Quas, about player movement.
Okay, first off, poor Nintendo. Nintendo don't get no love in actual football. Poor Nintendo. But no, player movement. Let's see. Well, honestly, if you play any type of Madden in the past 5 years, you would know that the players don't move like they do on the NFL field. And we were talking before in the green room that we would like to see not only player recognition and intelligence to be able to pick up and adapt to the play ahead of them, but also move and flow like DBs, linebackers, and tackles, and
Just
and all they would.
Just to move overall, like actual play, like physics involved. Well, like how players hurdle over things, how they backpedal, how that looks.
Not just an animation.
No, and
but physics, basically, really. No, physics, fluidity, the way a player would move, backstep, strafe, play a zone, not read the play and not play the zone, and attack the quarterback. Certain things like that you don't see in Madden right now.
Yeah, well,
I don't think you've seen that in a while.
And at times you do, see it in Madden, but it's not coded all the way over the top to where you see it, like things that make you believe that player is performing said catch or whatever. It's from the toe tapping to how blocks look, the hand battles, like that has to be on point.
100%. I can't just throw the ball up and expect to see the animation I normally see, like, oh, I'm going to catch the ball. Like, I want to know that every battle is different. Every time I throw the ball, I want to know the defender is going to play the ball different, the receiver is going to play the ball different, the linemen are going to block different, the edge rushers are going to, it's just, I'm tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. It should be fluidity and difference in every play.
Yeah, even from in and out of the huddle, how things appear on the sideline. Those are the little details that set a game apart, that realistic movement. And you play MLB The Show.
Yes, I do.
Quite a bit. And that's something that they've really nailed down.
I think it's because, and this might just be right now, but they had the game and the foundation built for years before they implemented all the bells and whistles now that you have, like Diamond Dynasty and franchises finally come along. What they did was they built the foundation and then built the game modes on top of a sturdy game and continue to improve the game as it goes along instead of, I hate saying cookie cutter, but
visually pleasing, with animations that make sense, that make certain things look like combined with motion capturing.
100%.
That make things look right, which, well, I guess we could end it right there because it's going to be a good segue into the next topic.
Segue.
Okay, in this segment here, we're going to talk about Modus developing a system that accurately shows how players are going to contain scrambling quarterbacks or run threat quarterbacks, as they have in an article that they posted a couple weeks ago back on Twitter that really showed how this system works. And we're going to double this with some other things as far as AI behavior. And what's your thoughts on this here, Quaz?
Well, if you look at the breakdown of the Twitter post that they put up, you can see the outer circle, the red, and the inner circle with the orange or yellow, and then you have the line. So it looks like they're dictating this from a threat outwards to inward system, which is dope because in Madden, I don't think there's any system like this. It's just basically attack the quarterback at all fronts. There's no like warning system at all.
Yeah,
so this is completely different in football.
Yeah, there's quarterbacks that are going to get away, like Lamar, but just making sure that these players behave correctly. And like me and you were talking about this, is that with the evolution and things that they're doing with the AI, players should be able to act like they actually act on the field. There are some players that are aggressive, that they tackle aggressive. There's some players that aren't. They're more form tacklers.
I can point to one game that does this. Is FIFA has personality traits in the game, so we should have personality in the game, just like you're saying.
Yeah, and like certain players, like they're always going to look to lay the boom because they're all about that aggression. They're aggressive players, but I would say the lower the aggressiveness, the more form tackle. Now, the drawback would be with these aggressive players, there would be a chance that they might possibly face mask somebody. Horse collar somebody.
Yeah.
Put
them out of bounds. Stuff like that.
And this would add to the game. It would even add a layer into the recruiting. Make all these stats like intertwined: the aggression, the intelligence, the discipline. If a guy's like high in aggression, low in intelligence, and low in discipline, guess what he's going to give you possibly a couple times a year in games?
Good old penalties.
Yeah. Face mask,
horse collars,
taunting.
All that stuff. The NFL frowns upon this year. Now, we can flip the coin, too, and I can point out one of my favorite players of all time, Sean Taylor. He had high intelligence and high aggression. He knew when to hit hard and not to.
Yeah.
So you can have an aggressive trait and it'd be a benefit to you. It's not just a negative. It just depends on the player.
And we want to see these things like play out on the field. It makes coaching, to me, a team that much more interesting. It makes recruiting and putting together a team that much more interesting. Like, if a guy's a problem out there, like he's a hothead, he might do something stupid during a game, and have a player just have to accept that, or have the player you have on your team. Or there might be some people out there that want to build their whole team on a guy that are high in aggression and low on intelligence.
Blue collar, run through the wall. Either we're gonna win the game, or we're gonna win the fight.
And after all these years, including the strides that they've made as far as with animations and mocap, and it's preposterous that we're at this point that we don't have players that actually behave like players.
100%. Honestly, it surprised me it's not in the game, and it surprised me it's not in the prospects, like the scouting. Because it should all be into one.
Yes, it should. 100%. Because at the end of the day, football is a complex game.
Mm-hmm.
And what it's been turned into is a game of speed and a game of play art. And as a former player, you could probably agree that there's a lot of personalities out there on the field.
Oh my God. You know how many good players run off of emotion? If you take that out of the game, it's not going to be the same. There's no soul in it.
Yeah, and a lot of people would say, okay, if you put something into the game like this, it would be scripted, but it's not. Those variables actually exist. Like, if you made it, like we were saying, RNG, where you don't know where that player is going to pop off. Say if you're getting your butt kicked 34-0, and you got a player that's high on aggression, low on intelligence, low on discipline, there's a possibility during that game that when you're getting your butt kicked in the third or fourth quarter, that player might do something.
100%. Yeah, there could be an instance where you're driving down the field about to tie the game up, and your edge rusher is low on intelligence but high on aggression, and has a roughing the passer, and blows the whole game for you. Yep. So that could definitely happen.
Yep, and that's something that we would like to see. It impacts the immersion. I think it evolves the gaming experience. All right, everybody, we have arrived at our other segment, and we're going to break this down into 3 segments, and you'll get this first one here in this video. We're going to talk about field in turf customization in Maximum Football. And it's something that hasn't been done in any other game. In next video, we'll get more into dynamic weather and stadiums, like I said. But let's kick it off by tossing it to Quasi91 about the custom turf, as we see the red, beautiful turf.
Well, I mean, only look to this beautiful screen that you have in front of you. The Boise State was one of the originators, I think, if not the originator.
Yes, they were. There they are right there.
And it's gorgeous. And I, for one, not only does it add another level of customization, but it adds character. It adds you can make your field your own. No two fields would ever look the same. And it's gorgeous. Look at it, black and gray and white and green.
Oh yeah,
so pretty.
And you combine that with how you're going to be able to make your stadium look and the aesthetics with the scoreboards, the sidelines, and just what your team's going to look like on your field. And that's going to bring just a level of immersion to a game and actually involvement to the game that I think it's been lacking in sports games for years. I don't think that any other game has ever had where you could customize your field to that level, if this is something they choose to have in their game.
I think for me, honestly, it's a no-brainer, because not only can you have it in the game just ordinarily coming out with it, but you can also have it in packs, like custom packs, custom field,
yes,
all colors. You can change them on the fly, have rainbow like the Hawaii field and all that good stuff. There's no limits to what you can do just on the field. We're not even talking about the stands and the stadiums and all that good jazz, but just the playing field itself. You can even have it like old school with a baseball field on it, or with no numbers on the line marks.
Oh yeah, and it's basically probably one of the easiest features to implement that you could gain revenue, like just the change of a color of the field, of the texture.
Yeah. That's it.
No, that's something that's not going to be hard to do. And the idea, I like you said about the baseball field, which is right there. Oh yeah, that's all me. And what I like is with the goalposts in the front of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
But these are just some ideas that we're bouncing around. We hope that Modus is listening, and I guess we can close it on this. And in our next video, we will get into dynamic weather stadiums. And I tell you what, you guys drop something down there in the comments, regardless of what it is. We'll try to do some research on it, get some information to you about this upcoming game. But until then, it has been Smoking Jay and Quasi91.
That's right.
SGN Hub. We'll see y'all around the hub.
Peace.